Welcome everyone to the first Polkadot Hubs AMA session. I'm Claire, part of the Hubs Collective, Polkadot Ambassador, and your moderator for today. Over the next 30 minutes, we will introduce the Polkadot Hubs Collective, share the vision for these community spaces, and mostly we would like to gather your feedback. I will kick things off by briefly introducing the members of the collective, and then we will go over a few points. The problems Polkadot Hubs aims to solve, an overview of the hub concepts, our next steps, and how you can get involved. Please feel free to ask questions anytime during the AMA. We want this to be an open discussion, and yeah, you are building this with us. So, who is the Polkadot Hub Collective? I hope everyone is joined, but I can introduce them anyway. So today's host is Parity, SubWallet, and it was also supposed to be Apilon, but we can mention them anyway. We have a sixth who is head of ambassadors for Eastern Europe, Gabo and Patricia who are Polkadot ambassadors, Otar from Just Open Source. Speaking on behalf of SubWallet today, we have a Ryan, and Domain from Apilon couldn't unfortunately attend, but we can mention him. And then we have representing Fala, Zoe, who is also Polkadot ambassador, and from the Parity team, we have a Tom, Matej, and least but not least, Pedro. So it's a couple of names, and yeah. And I introduced the members, but you may be wondering who exactly is the Polkadot Hub Collective and what's the point? And I would like to answer this, Gabo, if you could. Oh, we don't have a Gabo as a speaker, so I can't invite him as a speaker. So please, if our host can do that, and so he could answer. I think he just logged out. So maybe Six, would you like to take this question and answer who exactly is the Polkadot Hub Collective and what's the mission?
Sure. Thank you very much. We are solving some technical difficulties here, but I'm happy to answer the question. Yeah, Gabo just solved.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. But
So
yes, okay, then I will continue. Sorry. So basically, the Polkadot Hubs Collective, we can imagine that it's a team of people in the Polkadot community who are leading a project that aims to create physical places called Polkadot Hubs all over the world. These hubs will be decentralized and driven by the community with the purpose of supporting and connecting the Polkadot community.
All right. Thank you for your answer. And we can just dive into the first question, which is, what are the Polkadot Hubs and what is the vision of Polkadot Hubs? Some of you wondering. So maybe Ryan, can you take this one?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Claire. So I'm gonna make it very quick and straightforward to the point. So for the vision of Polkadot Hubs, we would like to create kind of physical locations worldwide for innovation and collaboration between community members, ecosystem projects, and ambassadors in order to extend Polkadot expansion and increase its impact in the Web3 universe.
All right, thank you. It sounded beautifully, actually, your answer. Thank you for that. And if anyone would want to ask something or add something, guys, feel free to just raise your hand to speak. And yeah, let's continue to our next question, which is Pedro, I hope you have a speak. I think he doesn't have. So please, I would ask to give Pedro mic or invite him as a speaker. And I would like him to tell us something about the overview of the hubs concept and explain this a little bit, because we were playing with this kind of vision as yeah, and I don't know if he or
I'm
yes.
on, yeah.
Yes, Pedro, feel free to.
What's the question, Claire?
So the question was if you could explain us the overview or like the concept of the hubs, because we created some kind of structure. So if you could, explain how this would work.
Yeah, sure. So, following on what Ryan just explained, we are talking about physical places. So this is important to clarify. There are already some initiatives that could be similar online to try and gather community around projects and stuff like that. But this is not the aim of the Polkadot Hubs as it is envisioned and as it has been raised by the community, because the problem here and what we're trying to solve is to exactly find a way for people to be able to collaborate face to face, right? Because all of this work from home, remote, it is of course very productive and nice, but I would say that all of us can recognize a little bit that when people get together, things start to happen. So that is a need felt by the community, and these spaces are planned or envisioned to be safe places where people can meet, cooperate, bring education to the spot, try to help people to get into the technology, develop, meet new guys, be together with everybody from developers to interested people to investors. So it's all about collaboration, right? It's all about improved collaboration and creating opportunities for that. So I would probably answer by saying what they are not supposed to be in terms of what we've been listening from the community. They are not supposed to be common working places, right? Like a co-worker working place where you can rent a desk and work from there. It needs to be something extra because it's going to be dedicated to Polkadot. Open to doing business of any kind. So we're not going to, it's not supposed that you go in and start, making business. They are not places to export for profit. So they are intended to be financially sustainable, I would say, but, supported in a certain way by the members, by the community, by the developers of a certain hub. And they're not also planned for investment or trading activities that could, of course, damage the brand of the Polkadot and what Polkadot is trying to achieve globally. I hope this can help understanding, but if someone else has any questions, please, let them come through.
All right, thank you, Pedro. And we actually started a bit this process of collecting feedback, and we have here Zoe. I don't know if also Tom is here, but Zoe participated during the Parachain Summit this year during the Decoded, and I would like to give her space as she attended there, and if she could share some of the feedback you got there, and yeah, what maybe were the concerns, and yeah, please, Zoe.
Yeah, thanks, Claire. Yeah, so Tom and I, we attended the Parachain Summit in Copenhagen before Decoded, this year. And it was a great environment to present the Polkadot Hubs initiative and the collective. So we did like a small workshop with several Parachain teams or ecosystem teams attending, and gave first of all a bit of an update what it actually means to launch these hubs, and we had specific questions also to the audience. Overall, I would say that the perception and feedback was very positive. So everyone in the room was excited to launch these kind of hubs, which was nice to see, because we of course need to verify if this kind of project will also be perceived by the community members. We mainly discussed also where most of the people that attended the workshop actually coming from. We had a lot of, like, of course, global attendance, but wanted to see also how the perception is for launching a hub in Berlin. For example, we have also several hubs in other locations that are getting started. And this proposal was also perceived positively. Some thoughts that came up. So overall, there was no really like negative feedback. There were just good input, which was good to see that a lot of people want to see, okay, how can we actually maybe create, or how do we make these connections? What can people get out of these hubs? And some ideas were also to accelerate projects, right? Like people that come new into the ecosystem, how can they actually navigate through the ecosystem? Because it's already quite difficult or challenging to do this online. Just launching a hub won't solve this. So we need to create like a process. For example, office hours. We need a specific parachain teams there, or also teams from development, from Parity side. And we brainstormed a little bit how we can actually guide people that want to come new into the ecosystem through the ecosystem to then launch on a parachain or build their own parachain. And these were some ideas that we have discussed. An idea, for example, like an accelerator came up, or is each hub its own accelerator? So it was very good to see that we led this conversation very pragmatic, so to say, because we already discussed some steps how we could actually execute this. I think this was the main outcome.
All right, thank you. We have discussed this also during the Decoded, and we were really happy about this positive feedback we got. But there is never enough space for feedback, right? And especially with this Polkadot Hubs initiative, because it's like community project, and that's what really important to mention, that it's for the community and it's also supposed to be built by the community. So I would like to point next question to Matej, who I hope he is having the speaker slot. He's probably on the Parity profile. And what are our next steps, Matej, if you could share a little bit insights?
Not from Parity, but from personal.
Okay.
Happy to do that. Basically, whatever, starting with Ryan, and then what Pedro explained, and Zoe as well. What we're doing right now is we're trying to gather all this information that we are collecting, all the feedback that we're collecting, and we're putting that into a so-called playbook. So this is going to be a document that the collective will put together, that we want to make available for the entire community, to help them set up the hubs, that how they see them and how they want to set them up wherever that might be. So we're working on that as the next step. And of course, in the process, we will still be reaching out to everyone in the community, trying to gather as much feedback as possible. Also try to gather existing ideas. We already have quite some. We know that there are already projects that are working towards becoming Polkadot Hubs. The most, let's call it, publicly exposed one, especially within the community, was the Bali proposal. So we will definitely be working together as a collective, try to implement the feedback that we've received based on that first proposal, trying to make it better, and potentially launch it again in the near future. So these are the next steps for the Q3, let's say.
All right. Thank you, Matej, for mentioning the Bali Hub. We have actually Gabo and Six, who are the ones who are building this. So I believe we could give a spot to Six. If you could maybe share the idea behind Bali and maybe explain this to the community, what kind of sustainable think you find there, and what's the deal, and share a few things. And just before you will jump on it, please, if you have any questions or comments, even you can use the comment section if you don't want to talk, and we can answer them. So Six, please.
Thank you. The project started this year in January when with Gabo we visited Bali and wanted to see what is the community like there and what we can do. Actually, a couple of months before that, we got some positive feedback that people are looking forward to hearing more about Polkadot and they want to have some events in the region, because before we went there, there was no Polkadot activity. And we spent 2 months there to see the possibilities, and it was really successful because we convinced the government there to support Polkadot. They even started their own substrate-based chains, which is, I think, super awesome. That the second largest industry will be blockchain in Denpasar in Bali. So this is their plan, and they chose substrate as their core technology. So thanks to that, we got their support and we received the potential or the possibility to use the blockchain Bali Center building for the Polkadot Hub project. So the location already has a physical space. You can visit it, meet the local ambassadors, or meet even us when we are there. So I would say it's a pretty active space already. There are, I think now they have like 20-ish members in the space that are active, not just from Polkadot, but generally from the Bali team, and there are meetups, workshops. Many university students visit the location to learn more about Polkadot and Substrate. Sometimes they are doing co-working, and originally we were not looking for that specific building. This is the funny part, because we just wanted to create a physical space there, like a hacker space, so people can come together, talk about Polkadot and work on it, and learn new skills. Some people would contribute from these spaces, because I still think that even if we spend a lot of time online and use digital tools for communication, being at the same physical space, it still has some some kind of added value that will stay as long as we are humans. So this is something that keeps us together and make the community stronger. So the idea was in Bali that we make the community stronger and lasting longer. And the community is not just about meetups and going to events, but something more. And we wanted to manifest this idea there. And it seems it is working well, because right now we are speaking from Hungary, and the guys there are working on their own. They keep the hub running. We of course help them remotely. We help them when they prepare some proposals. Most of the things are actually going through the event bounty. So the community is already helping a lot, I think, to make the Bali hub happen. And also the people there are working really hard and super active. There was, for example, the decoded viewing party. There were, I think, nearly 100 people attending. It was huge. I saw the video and the pictures. It was really nice. So what we will like to see with the collective is this kind of community to be built all around the world. And there are some other locations which are building this kind of activity up. And it's all about having a physical space where people can get trusted information about Polkadot, meet ambassadors, developers, ecosystems, and so on. I think I might just talked a little long. I give the word to Gabo, because we started this Bali idea together, and I think he should also tell his side.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to, drain the time from the from the audience, because I think there's 9 minutes left. I think you summarized it pretty well. So I will give back the voice to Claire, I think, and maybe to the audience if anybody has some questions about anything regarding this Polkadot Hubs. Thank you.
Thank you, both of you. I think what you said, Six, at the end, also the idea is actually like we would like to see happening in these hubs that, you know, maybe next decoded will happen in one of these hub, right? So, or some of the team will have a retreat there, and that's also one of the ideas behind it, which we think it's really, really nice and really important. And I have actually prepared some questions for you if in the case, you know, our audience would be a little bit shy and maybe wouldn't like to ask. So I have one question maybe for Pedro. How will we select which cities or regions will like launch the hub in? What criteria will we use?
All right, thanks for the question. I think that this is a, you know, as mentioned, it is a decentralized initiative. So the locations will come from where the community will want to be, basically, right? We don't expect to receive requests from very isolated places or places where there are not a lot of movement. They wouldn't make a lot of sense for the community, but we never know. So nothing is impossible. We as a collective have been trying to summarize some set of guidelines that would lead to an exclusion of a certain location, and they are basically all related to safety of our people and safety of Polkadot technology, right? So in that sense, I would give you a couple of examples. For example, if a country is very unstable from a political point of view, if there is a war going on, if it is an international sanctioned country like I don't know, North Korea, for example, if the location is very restrictive in terms of rights, like for example for women or for the LGBT community that also hold important values for the Polkadot community, those locations most likely would not be considered by the community as possible locations for Polkadot. But basically, Polkadot hubs, basically very much in touch with security of our people and our technology. That's it from my side. I don't know if I was clear enough. If someone has a question, please send them through.
Yes, so thank you, Pedro, for your answer. We actually got a question from Hatem, who is Polkadot ambassador, and I believe you just answered one of his questions, which is how you decide if a location is worth having hub. So as you mentioned, it's more about the community and what the community will decide that it's worth having. If the community is there, then And there is also another side of the question, which goes a little bit together with my question, and which is how will we measure the success and the impact of the hub, and what kind of key metrics will we track? And maybe Ryan, you could answer this also to have them.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Claire. Thank you for the question. So I think this is a very important question because we all understand that when we do something, we need to have the success metric in order to evaluate the performance of what we are doing. So I think it is the same for the each single Polkadot hub that we open. So I'm gonna share some of the ideas that we or the Polkadot Hub collective have discussed so far. And I think after that, we would love to hear any kind of feedbacks or ideas from the community because after all, we want the Polkadot Hubs to be a fully community-driven initiative. So firstly, I think we need to talk about the operation metrics of the hub. So things that we can like measure by every quarter. So for example, we need to have the number of the visitors who visit the hub every day, every week, or every month, every quarter. We need to have the number of the new local Polkadot ambassador candidates and new local official Polkadot ambassador. We need to have the number of the events, things like meetups, technical workshops, hackathons, and the number of the participants for each event. And also we need to have the numbers of social channel. So for example, how many people join the Discord or Telegram channel of the local Polkadot Hub. And another very important metric is that we need to have the number of the new builders, the new projects that onboard the Polkadot ecosystem. Because after all, I think it's very important to attract more builders, more developers to the Polkadot ecosystem. And after that, they can build kind of real life applications, real life projects that can add real value to the Polkadot ecosystem. So let's say if we organize a lot of hackathons, we have many people who register for the hackathons. But after that, we don't have any projects really built on Polkadot, or they just join the hackathon to gain the grants, and after that they leave the ecosystem. So that is not what we want to do, right? So I think those are very important success metrics that we want to focus on. And also secondly, it is very important that the hub can become financially self-sustainable because although the Polkadot Hub is a community-driven initiative and it is born to add value to the ecosystem, but we should not rely on the treasury for the Polkadot Hub in the long term. So let's say we need to think about how long should a Polkadot Hub become fully financial self-sustainable. For example, 6 months or 1 year or more. But if a Polkadot Hub open for, let's say, 2 years, and it cannot be fully financially self-sustainable, I think it's not a good thing. So those are the things that that I think that we need to take into account when we measure the success metric of a Polkadot Hub. And I think that we need even more ideas, more feedbacks from the community in order to make it more detailed, and we can put all of the information in the playbook so that we can have something very clear guideline for someone want to open a Polkadot Hub in their local community.
All right. Thank you, Ryan, for your answer. And since we are running out of time, I would like to maybe give some space to our audience. I can see some familiar faces and really active members of the ecosystem. For example, Nate, Space Mutier, Damsky, and these are Chris. Guys, you can just, apply if you would like to ask any question. I believe you might have some. So feel free to do so now. And I cannot see if you oh yeah, we have a Damsky, so Damsky might have a question for us. Feel free. Or not. Okay. So anyone? Space Mutia maybe. He just pointed a heart to us. I cannot see if you applied for the mic, so I hope they would give you the space. But just in the meantime, if you might change your mind, Damsky, do you have some question for us?
Oh yeah, sorry, my AirPods just decided to turn off. So yeah, I have got a question regarding the sustainability, because currently we are running a candidate for Polkadot Hubs, which is SubWork in Bled, Slovenia, and regarding the sustainability model, so Pedro was saying something that like basically for example, tables shouldn't be rented, but usually for co-works, that's basically the number one.
I'm happy to answer this question.
How could the hubs could be sustainable?
Yes, Six, feel free.
Okay, so that's I think very important to speak about that. We research multiple models for this, and we are considering the Polkadot playbook, multiple sizes of the hubs. So right now our idea is to have a pop-up hub, which is a small hub. It's a temporary location, maybe for a few days or a few weeks, maximum few months, where people can meet, work together, and it's a temporary space. And then we have this medium size hubs, which is, for example, I think I haven't visited Bled yet, but really looking forward to it. Maybe after Liberland Festival next week, we will see how it goes. But I think it's what I have seen so far, it's a medium sized hub. And we have also the big hubs which have multiple floors. It's a huge location, so it's more like a building for multiple ecosystem teams. And the thing is that the model, I think, is different for each of them, and sustainability is also requiring different plans. We haven't really planned anything specific how a hub can be sustainable. What we know that already works is that one model is to have a sponsor for the hub. It can be a company, it can be a government, or any party who supports Polkadot. And in exchange, the Polkadot community gathers there. So if they are building their own project, then they can have quicker and closer access to the community because it's right in their building. So this is the model, for example, in Bali, and there are a couple of other locations which I think will work in similar manner. For the co-working space model, that's my opinion. If you want to give out tables, that should be fine if there is a business model behind that. And it needs to have a business model if it's not sponsored by any parties. So I think Polkadot hub, which is working as a co-working space and gives out tables or even rooms for rent, I think that could be a feasible solution, but it depends on the location.
All right, I hope this answered your question, Damski. I can also see Rish as a speaker. So Rish, if you have some question, feel free to shoot.
Yeah, hi guys. I had the similar question based on the sustainability because if you hire a place, if you rent a place to create a hub, going forward it will become challenging to keep uh, the activities going if there is no inflow of the finance. If it has to be self-sustained, I believe there should be certain kind of model, possibly if the local teams, those who are building from that region, can pitch in some money to utilize the similar space, that could be a probable solution. But I think the sustainability will be the biggest challenge for these hubs. And secondly, I feel if we are about to cater the education part as well, then we might need certain individuals who should be kind of present over there to uh, maybe you need to train new developers or cater their questions. So will Parity will be helping on that or not? If at all, suppose if we go ahead and create a hub in Bangalore, India, one of the world's biggest developer communities over here in India. So if someone wants to leave Solana ecosystem, wants to learn about Polkadot, how and if they want a physical presence in that scenario, how we can achieve that?
Yeah, I'm happy to take this one. I'm also aware of the time, so I'm going to try to be as short as possible. Touching the topic of co-working again, and I've discussed the playbook before. This is actually what the collective, that's also one of the purposes of the collective. We will be trying to help everyone get to that financial sustainability, and co-working opportunities, of course, it's a source of income, right? That will potentially help each space to achieve that. And this is also a part of the playbook. We understand that not everyone, or probably no one in the ecosystem is a specialist when it comes to setting up co-working spaces and agreements, and it's quite a task from documentation perspective, and this is going to be a part of the playbook as well, that we will try to draft documents that you will be able to use, and potentially we will help you avoid problems setting up co-working spaces. But yeah, that's definitely one of the ideas that we are exploring. Other ideas is also connected to all the ecosystem teams, right? Existing office spaces definitely have potential to become Polkadot Hubs as well.
All right. Hopefully this Matej answered your question, Rish. And I think I see also our Chanel profile to have a speaker. If you have some question.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Claire. It's Tom here. Yeah, I just wanted to add to Matej's point there as well, and Rish, just touch on what you were saying about the financial sustainability of it as well. The co-working is a part of that as well, but I think what we also need to try and capture with this project is how much money we can potentially save from the events bounty. If these hubs can be utilised for other things, for hackathons, meetups, etc., that will hopefully kill two birds with one stone, and then we can make the savings there and just utilise the space. So it may also be taking money in from co-working spaces, etc., but also saving money by just having the space for multiple uses, which otherwise would go through the treasury.
All right. Thank you, Tom, for additional information. I believe I'm so happy we get some questions from the community. We would like to do these AMAs more often, more regular, and we will definitely announce them upfront. I would like to close this session with that if you would like to get involved, we have a Polkadot Hubs channel on the official Polkadot Discord. We have a Telegram group chat where you can join and collaborate on this initiative with us. We also have outside feedback form where we are actually asking on the specific locations. If you have some on your mind, you can just fill out the feedback form. And we also have a forum post outside. We will input all these links under this Twitter Spaces, so you can have a look at it. And I would like to thanks to all speakers for joining this session, and everyone who joined, and even those brave one who asked some your questions, and looking forward to see you next time. So thanks everyone, have a great day, and see you next time.